Good evening, beautiful people. Welcome to our first edition of the weekly game show here on Cystads. And we'll be talking about how well do you know your roots. And here, this topic would be where the past meets the present and knowledge become power. I'm your host. My name is Igbenedion Progress Osaradian, and I'm happy to be here with you. Like I said, this is our first live session and it is a cultural reset. And we'll be doing it every Friday at 7 p.m. We'll be digging into the rich soil of Africa heritage. We're talking about history, we're talking about our identity, and we'll be testing what we all know from our history, from our heritage. It will be challenging and it will be breathtaking. And we will celebrate who we are. Our tonight's episode is very special because we are going to be joined by someone that lives and breathes Africa history and Africa storytelling, a true custodian of culture. Mr. Richard Afolabi is going to be our
Thank you very
he's,
much. Thank you for the introduction.
he's the co-founder of Better, the company that made Cystads. And why Cystads was made was because of his enthusiasm for culture and for heritage. He knew that our culture is very rich, and through that culture, we can earn money from it. Not just improve ourselves, we can earn money from it. Welcome, Mr. Richard.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Thank you. Thank you.
Very good.
Okay, would
So,
you like me to say okay? Because I wanted to know what you want them to say next. Because you've already introduced me. There's no need for me to introduce myself again. Some more yes, please.
okay, very good. So, we'll dive into the conversation. And like I said, this is a game show. People are going to be winning prizes, different kind of prizes. Yeah. So let's go. So I guess what do you have for us today, Mr. Richard?
Okay, so for me, I think one of the things we'll be talking about today briefly is the reason or why important how important is knowing our history or our roots. Okay, so for a lot of young people, especially Africans, there's a way that our culture or our roots have been demonized to us. So if they tell you that in short, even it's from when you're growing up, when your parents tell you that when you misbehave, they say, "I'll take you to the village." They make the village sound like some sort of punishment. So children associate their village with punishment, poverty, um some sort of dark magic, rather than a place for them to learn their origin or a place for them to be able to relax and connect with nature. You see, I used to tell some of my cousins some things. So at the time we were making a joke. So we know our own village is Egbeda in Lagos. And Egbeda is one of those areas in Lagos that is developed. So we used to make a joke that how will our mommy send us back to the village now? Our village is in the city. You understand? And that's the kind of mindset children should have towards their village. They should have a mindset that is open enough to want to go to their village, to go to their roots, to go and ask questions. It's only in Africa where you see a old person and the first thing that will come to your mind is this person must be a witch, rather than a source of information that can actually expose you to better reality, that can actually expose you to wisdom, that can expose you to know what has happened in the past and what can happen later. Because we have a saying as Becca that our sister basically that the a man who has seen and lived in the future is not as great as the one that knows the past. Do you know why? Because when you know the past, you know where people have been to, you know where people can reach and where they are headed based on their past. I'm telling someone that if you really study the war in the Middle East right now and you look at what has happened over the last 100 years, you will know Gaza didn't start on October in October, 6th of October, or so when the was it Hamas attacked Israel. If that issue didn't start then, neither did the killings in Iran start this year. It started a long time ago. So when you understand history, you can understand what happened, what led to certain things, and where we're headed as a group of people. So that's one thing I would like to say at this introduction part. That history for us, understanding our roots is very, very important. Because once we can understand the past, we can easily deal with things that are happening to us now and things that will later come up in the future. That's it from my end for now.
Okay, thank you very much for the introduction. That is amazing. Um, and yes, I believe that someone that knows the past is better than someone that sees the future. The future is um, calculated past. For you to know someone's future, you need to know his past. You need to be able to know the person very well to be able to know that this is what the person will do in a certain situation. So for
Yes.
us to be able to grow, we need to be able to know our past. What has happened in our past? How have we reacted? And how can we do better? That
Yes.
is good.
Yes. Thank you very much for adding that.
So
Okay.
you're going to say something.
No, no, I was following your leads. I was listening to what you were saying.
Okay, very good. So we are going to ask people in this call what they think about their past, what they think about history, what makes history so special to us. If your history or your past or your culture is special to you, what makes it special to you? Me, what makes my history special to me? I remember growing up, um, my dad's friend, because my dad was very old then. My dad gave birth to me at a very old age. So I think it was around close to 60 when he gave birth to us, me and my
Wow.
twin sister. So every evening, that's when I was about 15, 14. Every evening, this is friend used to come and visit him because he was now retired. They will sit down outside. We would not be bold enough to sit down with them because when they are with visitors, we shift, we go away from them. But I'll sit down in our sitting room close to the outside and listen a bit to what they are saying. And most times they talk about culture, they talk about the history of Benin, the history of Nigeria. And there are a lot of times they spoke about how Benin was named. Eh, they spoke about our first king, Obayeweka. They spoke about um, the one that was brought from Ife, the one they called him the king from the sky. They spoke about all those things. This was how I learned most of our African cultures. And my dad also had books about the African culture. At times I would sneak and I would read them. It was fascinating to me. It was later on I started learning that our history is not just something that is interesting. It is something that can help us grow. It is something that can shape our future. And here in Cystads, our history can also be profit. It can also make us money by going to Cystad and just asking historical questions. We can earn money from it. So, what do our history, what do the history of the place you come from, what does it mean to you? What does it mean to everyone here?
Okay, before we even throw it to the floor, I think I should add that I should add something to like you said. So for me, like you said, yeah, same thing with me, but I think mine was my dad was a little bit younger compared to yours. My dad gave it to me in his 40s. In his 40s, I think it was close to his 40s, like late 30s, 40s. So most of my dad's friends were like older than him or his age range. So when I became of age, when I became a teenager, I was already listening to them talk about things like the stock exchange, history of how Nigerians migrated from Nigeria to Ghana, how I'm also related to certain people, and I would listen and I would enjoy those conversations. When I get back to school, I sounded way ahead of my peers because imagine a boy of 10, 11, 12, 13, listening to men of 40, 30, and 40, 50, 60 years old talk about life. I'm sure you would not be conversing with your classmates on the same level. Me, there was one day I insulted someone in my class. The person told me that my mates are in the mortuary. I was like, oh yeah, no big deal, but yours are in psychiatric hospital. And I was in, I think primary four. So the teacher was like, where did you, what's wrong with you? All this? I was like, well, he said my own mates are dead, but his own mates are crazy. And the man was like, where did you learn these things from? I was like, I had this one conversation between my dad and his friends when we were talking about how it's worse for you to be crazy than to be dead. Like they were having that conversation, and it was like that for me. So I was always talking up, asking questions based on certain things that I learned from my dad and his friends, and that helped me connect with my roots. So I'm very very proud of my roots. I try to always find out things about my roots that are very very like sometimes controversial, sometimes very important. Like for instance, I later realized that some of my ancestors were slave traders. Now that made me understand some depths when it comes to slave trade and the 400 years transatlantic slave trade and things like that. It made me understand that whoever remained in Africa, either their people were not discovered during the colonial era, or their ancestors were so powerful that they were part of the slave traders. Okay, do you understand that? That means either you were royalty and really, really respected, or you were part of a very, very royal and respected family. That's why you were not sold into slavery. Or your people were not discovered at all, or maybe your people were just there and they were managing themselves. But either ways, you were a conqueror of that era because the whites yes stole some blacks, yes they stole some blacks, they stole them, but majority of the slaves we have now in other parts of the world, people that went there through the transatlantic slave trade, were sold by fellow blacks. And I got to read and think about that from that perspective, just because I heard that some of my ancestors were slave traders. So they were traders. They also dabbled in cocoa. So they dabbled in cocoa. They also um, did some other things. They were like some of them were medical people. I don't know how to put it in those days. So they were in charge of the health of some kings and like the Onis of Ife. So they had all those. I had all those information. I learned from those things, and they gave me clarity as to who I am. Even when it comes to the matter of loyalty, I remember my dad telling me a story about one of his ancestors that actually his friend was sent on exile, and that's how even our slave trade story started. His friend was sent on exile from where they settled by the king because it was very troublesome. And my ancestor, didn't let go of his friend. You know, normally when they send people on exile like that, you have to disassociate yourself from them. My ancestor did not disassociate himself from his friend. He didn't betray his friend. They went together to start a new place. And when they started that place was like the riskiest place because it was the first point of contact for people that are coming to attack the town they were living in. So after a while, they realized that these people, there was no more attack coming from that end. Not knowing that my ancestor and his friend had subdued every threat. Now they became very rich merchants from selling slaves to other people and from doing those things. But that idea of loyalty to a friend that was disdained by a king, that was later called back and respected and given chieftaincy, both my ancestor and his friend were given chieftaincy. But that level of loyalty, because normally when people see problem like that, they run from their friends. Do you get that level of loyalty gave me the strength to understand that there's loyalty in my blood, there's loyalty and royalty in my lineage. So I would not just cower away from in very, very, very difficult situations. And that's just the way life is. So that's what I've learned that no matter what you do as an individual, if you don't know your history, if you don't know your roots, if you don't know the people that have done life before you, if you don't know how they lived their life, the people that are your ancestors, you would not even know how to solve certain problems in your life. You don't even know where to start when you have issues that are happening to you. Now let me give another very very sweet example. I was thinking there was this time I was thinking about doing something, and I spoke my dad and he gave me an history of one of my ancestors too that was Not like ancestors directly. Like, when I talk about ancestors, I'm looking at the ones that gave birth to me, like the ones that come from their lineage. But when I also look at the ones that were associated to them, like their cousins, their uncles and nephews, my dad said there was one of our ancestors like that was not really serious with the trade. That's the cocoa trade, and he had some issues, and he started playing games, and he sold one of the family. What is it called? Family heirlooms, like one of the things that they pass down from generation to generation. And that's why that thing is no longer a part of our family. So I was not thinking in my head, what if there were systems put in place that made me start thinking about how do people build dynasty? Because I have ancestors that were extremely wealthy. The wealth doesn't go beyond the first or second generation, at most maybe third. And I realized that after the third generation, they have to restart again very difficultly. So I now thought to myself, I said, why not create systems? Why not create a way that, okay, as long as you get this surname, you will never suffer. But you will not be able to have access to capital that you just squander like that. You have to go through a certain level of training. And I started thinking about that for myself. I'm thinking about it for my siblings, thinking about it for the next generation. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is something that makes sense. It's something that I should do. But if I don't know my roots, I don't know that they've been doing that, and there were even some people that sold family properties and family assets, I don't think I'll be able to have that courage. Do you understand? To even think about such solution for myself that can even impact generations to come. So that's one thing. Understanding your roots is very, very important when it comes to you even doing things of impact. And it's something that if young people understand that alone, things like depression, things like just behaving anyhow, you don't even think about it. Let me give you an example. When you look at yourself, you see just yourself. Then, if you are really open minded, you see your father and your mother. But you know that for your father and your mother to exist, it needed two people from both sides. That means you now, as an individual, you have two parents, right? Then from your father's side, he has two parents. From your mother's side, she has two parents. How many people are we looking at before you were born? Two, four. That's six people. From their own side too, they had extra two each. Two times that times that's two. That's already four again. Plus those, if you start doing the mathematics, just six generations back, you see how many people had to come together to create that one you that will not decide that you want to go and become a disgrace, or you want to become someone that would not care about himself, or you want to become someone that will be feeling depressed. Do you know the amount of, do you know how many, even in your father's scrotum, do you know how many sperm cells could have been here instead of you? Talk less of the one of your grandfather, great grandfather, great grandfather, and all of those things combined. For you to not think that, oh, this life that I have right now, I just want to waste it based on the fact that this is how I feel. I feel depressed. No, no, no. If you understand the greatness that has been bestowed upon you to even exist at this period. Understand your roots and where you're coming from. I'm sure you appreciate life and you also make something out of your life. And I got progressing. One of the things that inspired us at Sisters is the fact that we love history. We love the fact that we can connect with our past, right? But outside of that, also, we want to enrich Africans. We want Africans to get money from their own history. So this is the thing. There are tools on Sisters. If you go to sisters.com, there are tools like blogs that you can upload your blogs and we reward you for uploading blogs. There are tools like archive where you can write things about locations, places, families. And I think even our lead programmer is on this call. He's supposed to add some tools, some tools on what is it called? Tools on people even drawing their family tree. I think that's something that has been worked on, so that people can add their family history to Sisters and make it something that, oh, as I am right now, who am I? Who is my dad? Who's my mom? Who are my siblings? Who are my siblings' children? Who are my siblings' children? Who are my uncles? Who are my aunties? And with that, we will power it with our fintech solution where people will be able to even raise money, crowdfund in their families before they take it outside and go and be talking to people that will disgrace them and insult them. When they have problems with the connection they have in their family, they can use it to crowdfund. Imagine you have like 100 cousins and nephews, and all of you are on the same platform, and you have a problem of 100,000. That's I think 1,000 naira per cousin, right? Yeah, 1,000 naira per cousin will give you. If you're 100, we give you the solution to your problem. So rather than you going to your status and saying who would help me, I'm almost dying, I'm broke, I'm this. You already have cousins that can solve your problem, or you have brothers, you have sisters, and with that way family problems not become something that will become a laughing stock outside. So people can come together. Like for instance, me, I have a very big family. For my dad's side, I have about 16 uncles and aunties, minus their own children. So on an average, all of them giving birth to two children on an average, I already have 32 cousins. Now, on my mom's side, I have over 30 uncles and aunties. So on an average, if all of them give birth to two kids, I'm sure some of them give birth to five, some are six. Even my mom gave birth to three. So on an average, when I'm looking at all my cousins, I'm looking at 60 to 90 people. Do you get? Plus my 30 uncles and aunties. Imagine there's a platform that brings all of us together. We have family meetings online. We talk about things. We talk about my grandfather. We talk about a lot of things. Like for my mom's dad is one of the founding fathers of the largest local government in Nigeria and West Africa. That's Ali Mosho local government. So think about it. If I didn't learn my roots, I didn't learn my history, I would not know that I'm not supposed to be misbehaving in Lagos State because I'm from a family that has an history in that state, and I'm not supposed to embarrass my people there. Do you understand? So the idea is that when you have such understanding of your history and you have a family that helps you preserve it too, all of you would work together in unity and things would make you proud of yourself, and also your problems can easily be solved because you guys are connected. I don't know. I've been talking for a while now. I think I would pass the mic to everyone else. It's just everyone wants to talk about how their family, how they feel like their history is important, their own history, personal history. Now, it's not just a general thing because I've talked about my history. I think Progress also spoke about his. So, can anyone share with us how they feel their own history is important and how it has affected them in the decisions they make as individuals? Anyone wants to say something? We can invite you to speak if you are interested in saying something.
If you're interested, you can signify and you're invited to speak.
If you want to
Okay.
come as a guest, just click on the guest option on your end and would add you so that you can speak.
If you see the people of Benin, you would know something. You would know that if you talk bad about their king, if you talk bad about their Oba, they get triggered. I remember when I was still very young, when I was about 11, I we had a calendar. And the calendar, our Oba was there. His name was there. And I was reading his name. And I spelled his name intentionally. Me and my twin sister. Then my grandmother quickly rebuked us and told us to shut up. Told us that we are not supposed to, we are supposed to take the Oba of Benin secretly. We are not supposed to spoil his name or do anything, any of those stuff. So we learned that growing up, we would not tolerate anybody speaking bad against the Oba of Benin. Most of our history, most of who we are, most of how we grew up is defined by our history, is defined by what's happened in the past. We revere our Oba of Benin because our parents revered him, because our grandparents revered him. If we come from a lineage or from a family where nobody ever respected the Oba of Benin, everybody hated the Oba of Benin, we would also hate him. If we come from a family where we love our country, if we come from a family where we love God, we would also follow suit. So our history is very important because it shapes who we are. Our fathers, our forefathers, their decision do not only affect them, it affects their children and it affects their grandchildren. Same with us, our decision will also affect our children and our grandchildren, even though we would like to accept it or not. So our history is very important. So nobody has anything to say. And please be reminded, uh, any contribution you give, any question you answer, you are you can win gifts. This is a game show. You win gifts by participating and answering questions. So you are not just answering questions to gain knowledge. You are answering questions to both gain knowledge and gain money from it, gain gift from it. Like we said earlier, we said that Our love for history is why the co-founder made Cystads. And not just his love for history, he knew that Africans can earn or can make money through our history. That's why he created Cystads. And please, you can
Yes,
invite those that are interested in history to this talk show.
yes. And to even add to what you said about family culture and family issue, I think one thing I've learned is one of the reasons, like, when we started, we talked about how African culture and history has been demonized. That even when you hear I'm sending you to the village, it sounds like an insult and a punishment. You get? It's because we don't really value our culture and our heritage as Africans. When you talk about even the orishas, like in Yoruba deities and things like that, you see people just become they get it sounds cringy to them. They just what is this person saying? Are you trying to worship false gods and things? But that's why I actually love and respect Benin people. There's the way they carry themselves and the way they carry their history. They don't play with their heritage at all. Recently, I saw a post online that talked about what is it called? The people praising the Oba of Benin for helping bring back some of the stolen bronze craft that the British took during their expedition. I think it was a very long time ago, over 100 years ago, and people were praising the Oba that he has tried. You see, this is the thing. They didn't just take from the Benin people; they took from almost every other culture in Nigeria. But the problem is, a lot of people don't even value their culture any longer. They don't care. So what's the problem? But the Beninese are very, very proud, and it's because of the mindset. Like you said, progress. When you were mispronouncing the Oba's name, your grandmother was like, "No, don't do that. This is what you do. Don't do it like that." If your grandmother didn't care, I'm sure you would not even see it as something of importance. And that's the thing. I was talking to someone and he told me that, oh, the the story about of how Oduduwa left the Ogisos, that's the kings before the people before the Bini Empire was established. Talked about how Oduduwa left from amongst them because of some politics that was played by the king's wife, one of the king's wife. If you listen to that story, you will know that that story makes more sense than the history from the perspective of Oduduwa coming from Mecca, from Saudi Arabia. The Saudi Arabia story was to propagate Islam. I don't have anything against Islam. I don't have anything against Christianity. I don't have anything against any form of religion. But that's just the story. So it was said to propagate Islam. The same way, what is it called? Igbos will tell you that they are from the lost tribe of Israel, that they are God, tribe of God. That's the thing. It's to propagate Christianity. But what is our own true identity as Africans? What is our own true identity as people from this part of the world? We don't really know our own stories. We don't even know our own identity. But we are told to do certain things that we ourselves don't even know much about. And that's the thing. So at this stage now, we'll start asking people questions. So if you want to answer our questions, we'll ask you questions, a very, very open question. And the first person to answer the question here would be given what is it called, the opportunity to join our live session. Okay, so this is how we'll do it. This is the way we'll go about it. We would ask you a question on this live right now. The first group of people to answer that question will be given the opportunity to come and answer more questions to earn money from this live session. Okay, are we fine by that?
Yes, me, I'm fine with that.
Good, good, good. So the first question is very simple. It's a Nigerian question, not a pre-Nigerian question. So if we hear pre-Nigerian question, is that before the colonial institution named Nigeria was established, what were the things that was happening in this part of the world? Okay. So the first question is, who is the man on the 10 naira notes? Okay, who is the man on the 10 naira notes? Once you answer the question, the first person to answer the question, you can answer in the comment section. Once you answer the question, the first person to answer would be given the opportunity to join the live session, and we would now start asking them questions that can help them win prizes. So who is the man on the 10 naira notes? I see someone going to go and pick 10 naira notes somewhere. Don't be that person. It's this is the thing about we Nigerians. We don't even know things that happen in Nigeria. The only time we know what's happening in Nigeria is when the price of what we want to go and buy is different. Someone is checking the expo. I'll give all of us the opportunity to check expo, but we know that the questions that will be asked after this are tougher questions. So who is the man on the 10 naira note? Oh, great. Cameron Scrubs just answered, but he didn't answer correctly. The answer is almost right, but he didn't answer correctly. He didn't answer correctly. Someone said it's Godwin fine. Okay, good, not bad. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Almond Ikoku, not correct. The name is they're almost right though. On someone now, and the person is Angela Yeah, Angela. Yeah. Great, great, great. Angela, yeah. Would you like to put in a request to join the live session so that we can ask you more questions so that you can earn money from this opportunity? Let's all clap for her. Let's all clap for her. Let's all clap for her. Let's clap for Angela. Let's clap for Angela. Angela. Angela, come up, come up. We make a request to join the live session so that we can we can give you Angela. Congrats. Like Angela is not here. Oh. Angela, join now. I'm waiting for you. If in the next few minutes you don't join, we would we have to ask the next person. So please. Someone said it's Godwin Ifeanyi Emefiele. Hey. So the answer is Alvan Coco. And who is Alvan Coco? Is you see, that's the thing. When people try to copy answers, they don't always know the answers they're copying. The person that just said Godwin Ifeanyi Emefiele actually was looking at the governor of Central Bank, and at the time the Naira note was printed, so the person did not get it. It's why it's not good to be looking for expo. Wow, we have to screenshot this and keep records. So this is the that's what happened though. The person that was the governor of CBN. So Alman Koko was an educator from the eastern part of Nigeria, and he actually made sure that some major reforms. The person that said Alvon was almost correct. It's actually Alvan Koko, and he made sure that some major reforms were done in the Nigeria education system. Was one that even made sure the bill was passed for us to have first 6 years of the education as free. He became the leader of NUT, that's the National Union of Teachers. He was a very, very pivotal, it was a very, very instrumental person in shaping the future of Nigerian education. And that's why, even apart from the institutions that were named after him and the, what is it called? And the schools and roads and places that are named after him was also put on the 10 naira notes as a sign of respect for the man. So I think since Angela could not join, I think we would also we'll pass the opportunity to the next person that typed the answer, and that's Arike Ade. Can we all clap for her? So Arike Ade, please request to join the live as a guest so that we can give you um opportunities to come and answer questions from 1 to 20. We have 20 questions and you would answer one. If you can answer at least five of the questions, you'll get a chance to win 1,000 naira per correct question. So we're going to I have 20. You can answer all the 20 questions, you make 20,000 naira on this call. If you can answer just one or two or three, we'll also do that for you. So please, and let's just keep liking and just keep tapping so that we can also reach more people that would be able to benefit from this game. Okay, so please, make a request to join. Okay, as a guest. Oh, good, good, good. So you're welcome, Arike Ade. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Welcome to Cystads. How well do you know your roots? So before we commence, this is the thing. These are the ground rules. You have 3 seconds to give answers to the question. If you don't give answer in 3 seconds, it's over. So if you, in case you want to use like the person that did expo to go and get 10 notes to get the answer. In case you want to use that scope, it might not work or you get and the questions are random. You pick between 1 to 20 and we want you to answer as fast as possible in 3 seconds. And also for every question you get right, once you get 3 questions right, you can make money beyond that. But if you don't get 3 questions right, you can't claim any of the 1,000 you've earned. So make sure that you get answers correctly. Okay? Are you with us?
Yes, I'm with you guys.
Good, good, good. So the questions are very, very straightforward. You have to give the answers as they come. So this is the thing. For instance, let me say, when Nigeria gets independence, say 1st of October 1960. If you don't have the answer in your head, that's it. But before we start asking you questions, tell us a brief history about yourself, who you are, what you do, and also like how has history really impacted you? That knowing your history, because your name is a Yoruba name, Arike Ade, that means you are someone that understands that
Yes, I'm a Yoruba
culture is
lady.
a part of what's good. So tell us about yourself, about how your knowing your history and your roots has impacted you. Share with us, please. From what your states, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, so tell us a brief history about
Yes,
yourself.
I'm
How your
there.
knowing. Okay, good. Then tell us how knowing your history has been able to help you learn more about yourself and even make some choices in life.
I don't get the question. Can you come again?
Okay, how knowing your roots as a Yoruba woman has helped you. Do you get how knowing your roots has helped you become a better person? Soup is associated with the epic people of Cross River. You have 3 seconds to answer that question. One, two, three, gone. Sorry, Kerr. You've lost the opportunity to win on the game. Oh, sorry, but you can keep trying. You can keep trying, okay? Maybe if we ask another question again, you can rejoin. Oh, actually, it's correct. That you can come, but it came in late. It came in late. You should have said it. And we understand. No problem at all. No problem. No problem. Thanks for joining us today. So you can leave now and reconnect, or probably just leave the so that we can give the opportunity to other people. So I hope we now understand how the game is being played. So we are about to go to the next session. Another group of to join this live to be able to answer questions and earn from this opportunity. So the next question now that will bring people on board. I'm sure Cameron Scrubs is ready right now because the last one you only missed it by one letter. Instead of A, you put O on 20 naira notes. Who would let's get people to answer this sharp sharp. Who is the man on the 20 naira? This one is very, very popular among Yoruba people. Because there's a saying they will say "Omolokuti non komowo." So good. Let's clap for Vibe Gaming. Vibe Gaming. Your answer came in quick. Let's clap for him. Let's clap for Vibe Gaming. Muritala, General Muritala Mohammed. Normally, if you are going to go by semantics, we would give the answer to Abdul Rauf, but because this is not us trying to be too absolute, we would give the answer to Vibe Gaming. So, Vibe Gaming, please make a request to join so that we can have you answer some questions. So, it is General Muritala Mohammed as the man on the 20 naira notes. Okay, so Vibe Gaming, make a request to join. Good. We have seen your request, and yeah, you're welcome to this gaming session. Vibe Gaming. Can you hear us?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, are you a Yoruba man or an Igbo man or an Hausa man?
I'm a Yoruba man.
Oh, Yoruba, so it's fair. I say, a cowboy, sorry, it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're welcome. And that answer was very, very fast. So tell us what has your roots done for you? Like knowing that you're a Yoruba man, knowing your roots, what has it done for you as a person? We've been talking about roots today and how important it is. Progress shared his opinion about his roots and how it has shaped the kind of person he has become, knowing where he's coming from. I spoke about when we know where we're coming from, we can actually know where we're headed towards. Do you get? One of the problem of Nigeria is that most of us don't even know where we're coming from. So when youth tell you that I want to go and fight, they will say our parents are coward. That's why Nigeria got this sport. But do you know that just some 10, 20 years ago, our parents and their mates and their friends were on the road also protesting for democracy in this country. And some things were not done rightly and led to death of some of their colleagues. And the same mistakes were the mistakes we also made when we stepped out to protest for answers. So the thing is, if we knew the past, we would not just jump up and like that. We'll be more organized and more informed. So how's knowing your roots and your history shaped you as an individual? Please share with us.
Good evening, everyone. Um, well, really
Good evening.
knowing my roots is more of a personal stuff to myself. It's not something I used to,
Hmm.
get maybe fame or something like that.
Hmm.
So I won't say really knowing my roots as being a much of an impact, but at least yeah, it actually works a lot. Knowing one's roots will actually guide one in progressing in life. Yeah, let's just put it like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's actually a good thing knowing where someone is coming from. It's actually a good thing. Yeah, it's just
Good, good, good. So, like, give us an example where, like, for instance, there's this Yoruba adage because my speak Yoruba too that says, "Roti omo intonshi." What? Like, knowing your roots, how has he made you remember who you are and has changed you from doing certain things? Do you get
yeah,
that
yeah.
stopped
As
you
a
from, like,
student,
for instance,
as a
maybe
as
care?
a right. Yeah, as a student, knowing exactly what you said right now, not see on my
Mhm,
Niton. Now,
mhm.
there's a lot of, as a student, there will be a lot of things you'd be exposed to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as a teenager also. But you knowing your root and knowing where you're coming from, you'd actually refrain yourself from doing such things.
Mhm.
Yeah, and well, I
Yeah.
think that's it. That's it.
Yes. Thank you for sharing this with us. So the next line. Yeah. So we have 20 questions. Well, Arike has taken one of the questions and she didn't answer quickly.
All right.
So one of the questions was taken by Arike, and that's question number 9. So you can't choose that question again, right?
Yeah.
But you can choose any other question between 1 and 20, except question number 9. The game is being played. We'll
I
ask you
would
a
go
question. No, no, wait,
for
first. Let's listen to the game. No, no. She already chose
okay.
number 9. Number 9 is out. So now the
Yeah,
rules
yeah,
of the
yeah.
games are you have 3 seconds to answer the questions. They are not multi-option questions. Once we ask you the question, you give the answer. Because if you don't know it, you don't know it. Like I said, there was one question we asked initially, and someone had to go and pick 10 naira notes, and the person did not even get the answer correctly because they thought the name of the man on 10 naira was the name of the governor of the central bank. That's how Nigerians are far from 10 naira because they don't even think they want to spend it again. So we want you to give the answers immediately the questions are asked. Okay. So we have those 20 questions. And for every question you get, you win 1,000 naira.
Wow. Okay.
But naira for each question, you must get at least 3 questions. So once you get 3 questions, you're guaranteed 3,000 naira. And from there, any other question you get will be added to you. Do you get?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
As high as 20 to 30K. It's just left with you and how fast you can answer the question. You have 3 seconds to answer these questions. Are you ready?
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm ready.
Okay, good. So choose a question between 1 and 20, except question 19 and question 9.
Okay. Question 5.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. That's question number 5. Which ethnic group is known for making bronze in Nigeria?
Bronze.
Yes.
Benin. The Benin.
Yes.
Uh,
So, aside from question number 5, question number and question number 9, pick
yeah.
another question from 1 to 20.
I'll go with question one. Question one.
Holding. Fine. Okay, question number 1.
Yeah.
What is Nigeria official language?
English.
Correct. You
English.
have very good. So you have picked question number 1. Question number 5 was picked by someone else. Question number 19, you've picked it. You picked question number 5. So from 2 to 20, pick one.
Question 10.
So
Yeah. Question 10.
okay. So which of the Nigeria ethnic group is known for their tie and dye?
The Ogun State. The Abeokuta. Tie and dye. Yeah.
Yes. So you would which of the uh, Nigeria ethnic group? When I say ethnic group, I do not mean state. I mean which people?
The Yorubas or the. I'll say the. I don't really know the tribe, but I know it is the Abeokuta. But I don't know the exact tribe. Egbas. Oh, I did the Egbas. Do we? Does about Egba count?
Can you, it's not
Yeah.
around. I said you need to pick a tribe. Hurry up, I'm going to count 1 to
The
10.
Egba tribe. Is it the Egba tribe?
Two, three. You are wrong, bro. You're very wrong. And you even got it before, but you were not sure of yourself. You said Yoruba, but you quickly changed your mind before I said correct.
No. Well, you said it should be a tribe.
Yes, Yoruba is a tribe.
Yeah, he said an ethnic group. Yeah, so that's the thing. So you're not sure of your
Ethnic.
answer.
Okay.
Ethnic group, a
Well,
tribe.
I actually said Yoruba.
It's supposed
Yeah, so you went to Ogun State and Abeokuta and Egba. Well, you know what we'll do? Just for the sake of the fact that you actually tried your best, this is what we'll do for you. We would give you the 2,000 naira you won. Clap for yourself. Normally, we're not supposed to give you, but at least you tried, actually. You tried.
Thank thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So this is what you do. You follow us on Cystads on all our platforms. Drop a message for the admin and your account number, and we'll tell you what to do from there.
Okay, sure.
Congratulations.
That's my point. No talking. We really did well tonight. So one of the young people down.
Make us proud as Africans. You know some of the history. Okay, so the next thing we'll be doing now. So now you can leave so that we can add other people.
All right.
Okay, so I think for today we've been able to talk about history from a very very like from different perspective, and we've shared different things, and we also played this game and it was fun. This weekly show was actually fun. I enjoyed myself. I don't know, Progress. Did you enjoy yourself? Did
I
you
did
enjoy
well.
yourself?
Indeed.
I promise. It was fun. It was fun. And it's something that actually brought back the love of history and people really enjoyed themselves. Well, from our own end, it has been an honor. I was not even supposed to be here. Progress was the host, and Progress just gave me go ahead. As he gave me go ahead like this, me, I love history, and I just started talking like this. I didn't know when 1 hour passed. So I would like to congratulate the winners of this episode. And next week again, catch us live, same time, same place, and we'll be having conversation about history. And I just want us towards like how well do you know your roots as an African? For me, I know my roots, and I'm still learning more about my roots. I know that our attitude as Africans towards our history is something that has been demonized because we don't really see the importance of knowing where we are from. But one thing I've learned is for any man that wants to conquer tomorrow, that being said, thank you all for your time and thank you for joining. Progress, I don't know if you have any closing remarks to say before we close this session for tonight.
Thank you for your time. And like I said earlier, to be able to know someone's decision, you need to know the person or know the person's past. I know and I remember that there are some situations where my cousins, they they went into a situation or they got into an altercation and they said, if Progress was here, this is what he would have done. It's because they knew my past. They knew how I've reacted earlier. So they know what I'm going to do in the future. So for us to be able to change our future, for us to be able to make better decisions, we need to learn from those that have come before us. We need to learn from history. And thank you all for coming. And thank you all for sharing this game show. And we hope to see you in our next game show. We also hope that you invite your friends and they can be the winner. You can also be the winner in our next game show.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you guys. Have a lovely night. Bye bye.
Good night, all.
See you guys next week. Bye.